Good afternoon. I'm going to talk about something I've been thinking about for a while, but I wanted to gather evidence and gather information so that I can give it to you in a clear, concise format. Everybody knows about these various cases of white people calling black people the N-word, confronting black people in places, just basically giving black people a hard time, calling the police on them for, going door to door, calling the police on them for delivering mail in one case. Cop lost a job for that. And there have been other cases, like the white nurse in Utah, where I guess a police officer got killed by a drunk driver, and they wanted her to pull blood, and she was like, "No, that's not our policy." In fact, I think they already had done it, and he was just so arrogant. He just grabbed her and dragged her off. She's a nurse. This is her on duty. Dragged her off, and they lost a job. He lost a job. The supervisor lost a job for that shit. They actually dragged a nurse through the hospital, man. Then you had the case. You've had several cases in California where they've arrested firefighters. Firefighters blocking traffic because of wreck. He's trying to protect everybody's lives, and they snatch him up and put him in cuffs in uniform. This is what I tell people when police are talking this bullshit about it's 2019, we need to come together. No, man, because this is what happens when you as a police officer portray yourself as God. You're no longer a team player. You're no longer working within the community or for the community or building some sort of trust and confidence in the laws and the jurisdiction in which you uphold, that you serve. You're just playing God, which is dangerous. That's why folks hate you. I watched a video today, just a few minutes ago. This guy, Yellowbird, yeah, he's an Indian, and these police ran up on him. He was working on his car at this park and had it up on blocks, and they come up there and they were stopping him. And I thought it was gonna be one of them cases where, black people, the police are harassing them, but you look at the whole story, the brothers really escalated it. That's not what happened. The cop in this video told him, "Why don't you go back to the reservation?" And he even admitted it. And he was like, well, you need to go back to the reservation. Why not? And I would have told him straight up. I guess in a way I'm kind of racist now to a certain extent. I would have told him straight up, sure, I'll go back to Africa. I'll go back to the jungles of Africa. I'll put on a loincloth. When you cavemen go back to your caves in the Caucasus Mountains and go back under the ice, hand me my loincloth. I'll go. Hell yeah, I'll go. Hell yeah, where my plane at? Where the boat at? I'm ready to go. When you cavemen go back to the mountains, go back under your mountains. That's what you are. And one thing we wonder about is, why do they do this? Because there's so many cases where white people just bring up racist. They had one in here out in South Park. Remember two black women talking about, I'm drunk and I'm white, I'm 50. Listen, man, I don't know why I keep missing these racist white people, but I'm not calling the police. I'm not that dude, okay? I don't start trouble with nobody. I don't look for trouble with nobody. But if you come around me talking some kind of racist bullshit, talking about how I need to go somewhere and this and that, I'm gonna just talk for a minute, but and then go back to, like, she going for a gun, nah, I ought to beat that bitch's ass. I would beat that bitch's fucking ass. Hell yeah, I would beat that bitch's fucking ass. It's about time. They talk about white folks striking back. It's time for us. Shit. It's about time. You white folks, you understand, when you open your mouth and you say certain things, there's a consequence. I think white people are just used to they can say anything and go anywhere and do anything, and there's really no consequence. Yeah, they might go to jail, but I'm talking about out here. There's really no consequence to the actions. And I think it's about time that changed. I'm not sure how it would. I don't want to say too much, but someone need to get the ass whooped out of him. Someone need to get laid the fuck out of him. Moving on. What gets me is when white talk about how they're scared to be around black people. Like I read this racist shit on Cedar Post and stuff, and they talk about how black people are animals and all that, but yet then you have these cases of white people who confront black people. That's what gets me so much is that if I'm an animal, if you believe I'm a nigger, I'm an animal, I'm not worth speaking to, you think you're superior to me, you make so much money, you make 6 figures a year, whatever, then why are you coming to me with that? I mean, I'm sure you've met or known racist people who just didn't want to deal with black people. That's something else. I'm talking about white folks that have to come to black people and run their mouth for no reason. They initiate. Doesn't make sense, does it? Because this is white male rage. America has accepted white male rage. I'm at the point to where I don't think that there will be any kind of a solution as far as like government or so. I think Oregon, they passed something. Was it Oregon or Wyoming? They passed something to where you can sue them for like $250, sue them for some money or something. The black folks get 911 call on them, which is a start. Can't be too mad at that. You gotta start somewhere. It was unanimous. They didn't have to fight for it too hard. They passed that bill, so it's a good thing. That shows you that it's like the war on drugs. That shows you that the attitudes are changing. That you have white people who realize that hey, this is excessive. You're saying and doing things that you have no business saying or doing in the public. We've had enough of this going on. You know it's wrong. Come on. You know, hopefully. And I know people have free speech. That's what Simone says. You know, they have free speech and things like that, and they're not actually threatening people. But when you start calling, I'm like Tim Wise. I like his opinion of it. When you, as a white person, call police on a black person for playing music too loud, or just the myriad of minor complaints they make against black people, you are essentially saying about that black person that my comfort and my convenience is more important in your life. Yeah, that's what it is. These videos I watch, these aren't black people starting stuff with white people. This is white people going upon their own volition, confronting black people, pulling guns. That's what I see. The one we just saw, the old white lady went out there. Sorry about that. Went out there and pulled the gun on the brother and his wife. He just came back from service. Just came back from overseas in the military. Really? Pulling the gun on them. Just to tell them they couldn't be on the property? She wanted to shoot. That's why she did that. I don't think she had been to have a gun out there, period. But the fact she had it in her hand, that you see that a lot in North Carolina. Maybe not now, but years. You see a lot of that. Crackers that they feel like they've got to be the one to confront. They've got to be the one to go up here and tell them something. And even when there's no rush, they're not doing anything. You can just call police, and then when the police like, all right, we're 5 minutes away, then you go out there in a little golf cart. You say, hey, you guys know. That's all it took. No, I've got to go out there with this big gun, and I've got to. That's why when Anthony talks to me about being around black people, and I'm like, no. When he talks about separation from white people, I'm like, no, because that attitude of white people of I've got to confront the blacks, I've got to confront this, that, and the other, that's getting worse. And these people weren't even out like in fucking South Park, or these people weren't even out like in no major urban. They were out there in the woods, in a park. And this bitch came out there really what she's saying is, we don't want you here. I don't want you here. And it's crazy because as time has gone on, like in the beginning, I guess kind of like thugs, but it's gotten to the point now to where they're coming after the black intelligentsia. They're coming after black people making sick. I think that's kind of why the atmosphere has changed as far as them being willing to pass bills to make it illegal to do this, to make it illegal to, which was always illegal to abuse 911. They do that here. Keep doing this a nuisance premise. Explain that to you. You can't abuse 911. But I think we had, I think it was the BET got Bob Johnson. He was in a hotel and came back and had a little note, said something about hello nigger, and the dude at the hotel, the dude was like, you're trespassing. The cops like, I don't even want to hear it. Put it in the notes. The cops didn't even care. That's why I said these police are not your friend. These are race soldiers. Just that sneering, sarcastic, alienating. Yeah, we're gonna lock you up. We're gonna get away with it. Yeah, we're the law. I'm with the crackers. That's what it is, man. That's what it is. That whole attitude. Do you know why that policeman said it about needing to go back to the reservation? Because I think it proves that for white trash, they need that. They cannot operate. They need to have racism. That's why they do that. That's why they run up on you not doing anything and say racial shit. They won't lose his job. Probably nothing will happen to him right behind that. Might lose some days or something. Then he's like, yeah. You know, you could tell he was like this. You could tell he was kind of like trying to back off from it. Like he knew he had said something that if you call me a racial slur and you arrest me, that charge isn't going nowhere. You know that, right? If you arrest me and you made a racial slur, that charge ain't going nowhere. You know, that's gonna look bad, man. That looks very bad for you. I was like, listen, man, you gonna arrest me? Once you call me a racial slur or you threaten me or something like that, man, you lose that police power stuff go out the window. You don't have that no more. It don't exist when you start saying things like that. And that cop knew that. That's why the cop knew that. And I think this proves something I've been saying before about how white supremacy isn't just something against black people. Sorry, it was kombucha. It's about black people. It's about Hispanics, about Indians, about all brown-skinned people. These are the original Americans. These are their lands. We're all living on stolen land. Understand that. And for a white man to say that, go back to the reservation, I think that's just so disrespectful. It's really unthoughtful. And the thing is, the guy wasn't even doing nothing. This wasn't a case of the guy's running around, cursing people or he's committing a crime. It's a fucking, you know what I mean? Like, if you're so ready to use racial slurs against somebody for doing work on their car in public place, which is probably not even a citation. That's why he asked this car run. That's why he asked him that, because he wanted to tow it. And that's why I say I don't answer questions with police. That's why I tell people I don't answer questions, because the more you talk, they're gathering evidence. They're not trying to be your friend. Like the one I seen in Little Rock, what a dude was someone he had to start his car, and the cop's like, well, we're trying to accommodate you. And the dude was like, well, what about this? Sir, we're trying to accommodate you, sir. And the other cops get there and they say, well, no, our policy, we can't jump the car. We can't do anything. We can't even help you get in the car. So he was lying. You see my point? The cop was lying. It was never about helping you. It was all about building a case against you. So you're somewhere broke down in your raggedy ass old car that you probably shouldn't have been driving anyway. And now, guess what? You got a bunch of citations for a cracked windshield, for headlights, for tail lights, for tires, whatever. You see? It'd be better off if you didn't even go to work that day, I don't answer questions with police. These are devils. And I think that more and more now than ever, in a super capitalist system, the police serve the rich. Period. They have nothing for you. If you're not rich, they have nothing for you, man. Nothing. And I keep saying this, that to me, this is not the America I grew up in. It is definitely, this is a different America, man. It's a different time, a different place. I don't even really recognize this country sometimes. I really don't. Just the inhumanity of these police officers, the things they do and the things they say, it's just like, dude, would you want your fucking parents to hear you say that? Like, would you, you know what I mean? And then you realize the parents have taught them like that too. Probably were taught like that. Taught to think like that. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. So you're dealing with sickness. You're dealing with some very sick people who have always hated you. They hated your ancestors. You know, they've hated everything your ancestors did. They stole everything your ancestors had, talking about the Native Americans especially. And so now, in 2019, all they got to say to you is go back to the reservation, because they need you to do that. We're winning. Listen, as a black man or an Indian Native American man, just you getting up in the morning and getting out of bed, you're winning. Just you going to work, just you getting in your car, obeying the traffic rules and going to work, you're winning. Do you know that? You're winning. And so they I never told anybody this. Years ago, I used to go to this health food store over there off of Clan or something, over there off the light rail. I ain't there no more. What about a Pepsi bottling place? And it's kind of cool. You get on light rail, run down there and come back. Kind of like that. And real hot that day, I remember. Real hot. It was summer. And I got my flags and stuff like that. And this dude was looking at me weird. And I just felt on him like this, damn, they learning the secrets or something. Because they need this. They need me to be sitting up there eating fast food. They need me to be out here fighting. They need me to be out here doing stupid. They don't need you learning about tax and learning about the food and learning about how to manage money and learning about what money is, what the Federal Reserve System is, and learning about the way laws. They don't need that. Police officers operate off of your ignorance of the law. Remember that one in Wilmington where the cop tells the dude you can't videotape, and the dude's like, I'm a lawyer. Driving an Uber? Sure you are. You see what I'm saying? They have to. They all. And this guy was like a sergeant or something. He'd been in police for a long time. They need you to be ignorant. They need you to be unknowledgeable of laws to win. They always did. I don't think it was so much stuff put on white people maybe back years ago, but ignorance of the law, ignorance of society, ignorance of norms. That's how law enforcement's always operated. They've always operated off of a certain ignorance and a certain class of people, lower class people who just don't know shit because the law wasn't no benefit to them. What was the benefit of it? There was no benefit to those things for them. You know? So I watch videos like this and it's kind of sick. It's kind of sick as a black man to watch. Because you realize as you get older, much of the things that you've been told about police were right. It wasn't just black folks that were out there committing crimes and the police whooped them up a little bit. No. I watched the video today of a black man with a restraint chair. And the police were looking at each other, and the cop looked at the other guy, and the guy put his arm up like he turned his camera off. He done like a Nazi thing. You can see on the video. And that dude just, bah, 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 bah. And he was getting up in the face, talking all this. And the other cop hit him too when he was doing that. Basically, they don't just want to hit you when you're weak. They want to hit you when you ain't even looking. I mean, those guys were the ultimate cowards. Ultimate cowards. And I want to say that anybody out there that's beating on somebody in a restraint chair is a coward. To me, that's like beating up on an 8-year-old. That's like beating up on some kid under 10 years old. You're a coward, man. You're a fucking coward. You're not a man. You're in uniform. You got the radio. When I say things like that, I'm referring to options. I'm saying that you have options. A lot of things with white people, law enforcement, I've noticed that they don't use options. They just rush. They cowboy it. They rush. I'm gonna take care of it. I'm gonna be the one to do that instead of using the resources and the tools you have to mitigate the system, mitigate the situation, to calm things down, to slow things down. They don't do it, and that's why you have people getting killed, because you have these cowboy cops. Those guys, I think one of them got charged with a felony, and the union actually said that we can't run away from the video. Which, you know what that means? That means that they're known liars. I mean, I'm going to explain to you what that statement meant when they said that we can't run a situation, but we don't see it to be rise to a felony charge. These are known liars. The FOP are known liars. And what they're basically saying is, we can't lie. We can't cover it up. The video's already out there. I just saw it. The video's out there already. But it's not that bad. Because it's not a felony level charges, felony level whooping. And when I hear things like that, I kind of, you know why I smile? Because when I was a kid, I was told that police have to hold us to a higher standard. And I realized that was bullshit. That was straight up bullshit, man. I was lied to, boy. I was lied to. What do they call it? A miseducation of the Negro. You got it. Like the brother said, like the brother on Brother Shock Matthews was saying that, Felipe Shock Matthews, he was saying that with any education comes indoctrination. That's the way it's always been. You know, nothing wrong with going to college and all that, but it was always, you know, I just say that's disgusting. And it's truly disgusting. Because that union should be like, you know what they did was wrong. And it's crazy because it used to be the union would kind of like pretend to be just. They would kind of pretend. But I mean, now they don't even care. I mean, they say these things. And I'm just like, dude, do you think the average person believes what you're saying? You think the average person is sitting there agreeing with that shit? Yeah, dude, he'll hit this guy about 6 times. The other guy hit him 2 or 3 times in a restraint chair. And you're trying to justify? They should have lost their badges immediately. No more law enforcement. Not just immediately. Period. I'm talking like that day they should have been called into the office. That day. That video came out. That is disgusting. It's disgusting, and it's an outrage. Is what it is. There's no excuse, and it's just that when I was growing up, you know, I used to hear that from police that, like, you know, you should be responsible and all that. And I'm looking at police; they're not responsible. They don't pretend to be responsible. They lie and cover up evidence and make shit up, and, you know, give their kids alcohol and all kind of crap. Shit on a regular basis out here. So to me, I don't know. It just shows you that police are not accountable. They serve the rich. They don't serve us. That's what. In that video, that Indian guy, I like that he didn't answer questions. I like that he kept the onus on them, because really, man, in my mind, those cops, they what they call it, they were jigging. There's a word for it. Basically, it's a word, rousting. They were rousting. What are you doing here? Hmm? What do you don't belong here. That's what that is. I call it rousting. You know what I mean? They ain't there on a call. He's not bothering nobody. He's not hurting. No, they could have just laughed and joked with him and left. And be like, hey man, you know, how long you gonna be here? They could have asked him that. But they didn't. Mm-hmm. That's how when they talk about how we need to reach out to the police and be their friends and all that shit. How can you? You're dealing with your enemy. You're dealing with people that hate you and show you how much they hate you. How can you be friends with them? What? How can I? People are clearly showing you how much they hate you on a regular basis. Nah, man. I'm glad he did that. But you know, really though, honestly, even if they had towed his car, that would have fucked him up too. I'm sure him living out in the woods somewhere, he didn't want them to tow his car. Okay, I'm pretty sure he didn't want to do that. He didn't want to do that. But the fact that they already made a racial slur on him, I want y'all to understand the gravity of the situation. Okay, because anything they done after that would have been unjust. And once again, they have to keep on that. Go back to Africa, go back to the sewer. They have to constantly do that because they need to be on a moral high ground. That I'm better than you. I'm a little bit better than you, even though I'm not. They have to constantly harp on that. They need that. They need racism. They need to have you fighting. They need to have you doing stupid shit, you know, or they lose power, I guess. I don't know. Peace out.